Whispers Beneath the Banyan, Part 2, The Curse of the Roots. The rains did not cease. They came heavy, with the kind of persistence that seemed less like weather and more like punishment. The grounds of the Singh estate drowned in mud. The air reeked of mildew and rot. The banyan tree behind the house grew monstrous, its aerial roots lengthening into the earth as if groping for something buried. Arjun Singh stood on the veranda, watching the floodwaters creep closer each day. Letters from his late father kept him company, warnings scribbled in ink that had bled with age. Never disturb the soil beneath the tree. Never listen when the wind speaks in her voice. His father had died, whispering the same phrase, "The house of ashes must remain closed." But Arjun had already pried the padlock open 2 nights ago. He could not resist. His cousin, Mira, had vanished near the banyan, her sandals left in the mud like discarded bones. In his search, he found the crypt beneath the estate, the house of ashes. It was no mere cellar. It was a chamber carved into black stone, its walls slick with soot. At its center was an urn cracked down the middle, its ashes spilled long ago. On the wall, words were scratched into stone. "She waits in the roots." Arjun tried to forget. Bad dreams made forgetting impossible. Mira's face floated in his sleep, eyes hollow, mouth whispering. He saw her standing in the flooded courtyard, pointing always toward the banyan. And in her voice came another sound layered beneath her own, the rasp of a woman far older, far more vengeful. The villagers whispered. Of course, they spoke of the Churel woman wrong, who returns after death with feet turned backward, her beauty hiding a monstrous hunger. They said she lured men with her face, then drained them until nothing remained but husks. To Arjun, these were only tales, stories to keep children from wandering into the flood. But when the cook fled the estate, claiming he saw Mira's shadow walking upside down along the walls, Arjun began to wonder if folklore and truth were closer than he thought. The second disappearance struck harder. This time it was Basu, the stable hand. His screams tore through the night. By the time Arjun reached the stables with a lantern, the place was deserted. Only hoofprints remained, scattered, as though the horses had fled in terror. Basus's turban lay tangled in the roots of the banyan tree, stained dark as if with blood. Arjun gathered his courage. He ventured into the roots with only a lantern and a blade. The soil trembled as though something beneath it was breathing. He followed the trail deeper, past broken offerings, clay lamps, wilted garlands, bones of goats long sacrificed. His lantern flickered against something half-buried, a hand, pale, thin, clutching the root as if in agony. When he tried to dig, the soil poured back in, covering it, hiding it, as if the earth itself denied him proof. That night, the rains grew violent. Thunder shook the walls, and lightning exposed shadows moving along the ceiling of his chamber. Mira's journal had been placed on his desk, though he had left it locked away. The last entry was not hers. The script was jagged, written in black ash. "Free me, and I will return what was taken." The next morning, villagers gathered at the gates. They demanded the banyan tree be cut down. They spoke of curses, of an old woman betrayed during the time of Arjun's grandfather, Bay's servant, they claimed, who had loved a Singh man and been buried alive beneath the roots when her pregnancy was discovered. The family silenced her shame with earth and stone. But her spirit rose, bound to the banyan, to devour each generation of Singh blood. Arjun denied it, though his voice shook. "These are only stories," he said. But doubt gnawed at him. In his father's letters were references to the girl of the riverbank and sins cemented in soil. That night, the House of Ashes called him back. The urn was gone. Only a trail of wet footprints remained, backward in shape, leading up the stairs and vanishing into the hall. He followed. His lantern trembled in his hand. The footprints led toward Mira's chamber. Inside, her bed was soaked as if submerged in river water. Her mirror reflected not his face, but hers, standing behind him. When he turned, the room was empty. Sleep abandoned him. Every wall creaked with whispers. Every corner breathed. He began to see her Churel moving between lightning flashes, her sari-soaked hair trailing across the floor like weeds in a river. Her eyes glowed with a hungry fire, but it was her voice that nearly broke him. "Arjun, come deeper." The estate fell apart around him. Servants fled. Villagers lit torches in the distance, chanting prayers against the storms. Alone, Arjun stumbled back to the banyan tree, compelled by a force stronger than reason. The roots writhed like serpents. The ground caved in, opening into a chasm. He descended. Beneath the tree was a cavern of roots and bones. The smell of wet ash suffocated him. But at the center stood a figure half-formed from soil, half-flesh. Her feet were turned backward, her face both beautiful and ruined. Her arms reached toward him, yet they were tangled in roots that pierced her skin like nails. "Free me," she whispered, "and I will give her back." In her other hand hung Mira's locket. Arjun fell to his knees. The truth clawed through him. His family's sin was alive, festering, demanding atonement. The roots tightened, groaning. The soil trembled. The storm above screamed, as if the sky itself tore open. He reached for his blade. His decision would damn him or redeem him. And behind him, the whispering of many voices rose, each one older, darker, hungrier. To be continued in Part 3. The Night of Ashes.